Hello everyone, this is Blankera, and welcome to my universe. It's time for more sleeve! What was supposed to be a simple little cool physics thing to... it just got away from me. But these things happen, and... So last time I did the upper turn here. I see a couple of things I kind of want to fix, but for the most part, I think it's looking all right. So I will go ahead and fix up those couple of things here, and I will do the bottom turn. And then I will copy them both over to the other sleeve. So I'll just be focusing on this one for now. Anyway, those points that I wanted to kind of adjust are both kind of over here in this little segment of coat. I just do not feel like it is lining up quite right. So let me find my layers. I can always tell when I'm just getting started because I'm just like, wait, where is everything? I have like 50 coat layers, help. Always takes me just a sec to get into the groove there. I'm still very much looking forward to getting this on a pendulum today, or getting this on a pendulum, so hopefully I can do it today. Yes, that is what I meant to say. It's like I won't rush it, but I'm still really, really hoping that I can make it happen. But unfortunately, art is hard, and it just doesn't want to work with me. This little area, it's got a particular wave to it, and I just did not replicate it properly last time, so it looked a bit weird to me. And so that's why I'm coming back in and fixing it up now. This is also why I remember at the end of last stream, or last rigging stream, that I did not want to copy this over to the other side right away. And I was like, you know, I want to, but I really should make sure that everything is actually the way that I want it to be before I do that. Because otherwise, I will just be making things hard on myself. So I'm glad that I had the prudence to not do that. And I just held off, because indeed, there were a couple of things I wanted to change. And now I will have an easier time doing so. So that was absolutely the right way to go about things. So I'll just be wiggling this coat sleeve for a second here while I figure out what is aligning and what is not. And once I get this area, I'll go do a quick check on the others, and hopefully I can get to that lower turn soon. So that this way, I can put it on the pendulum, and everything will look great. I am just so excited to see this bouncing around with everything else. Personally, I still feel like the sleeve physics feel a little bit stiff, and I think that this will help a lot. More than just the unassuming little parameter would have you believe. Because when I think of a sleeve swinging about freely, no arm inside, I do picture little twists like this, and not just simple swaying back and forth. So I think it'll be quite nice. Okay, I think that's probably fine. And indeed, I see something similar up here. So I'll just check each of these little segments. I'm going to do the inner side first, and then I'll check the outer side here. Let's see here. How do I fix you? How do I fix you? Okay. Well, first off, this part above here got pushed down way too far. He needs to be, like, way up here. I guess I'll do this segment first then, since the first thing I saw was that, and that was just so blatantly wrong to me that I could not really see anything else. So, yeah, we'll do this segment first. I'll go from the top to the bottom, as opposed to whatever area I noticed first. That actually does tend to be how I work, where rather than any kind of specific organized effort or anything, it's just, okay, what's bothering me the most now, and what can I do to fix it? And then I go from there. So literally, it just is, what do I notice first? And sometimes in order to fix the area I notice first, I have to go and do other things. That's pretty normal. But that is just how I go about it. And if you can get rid of all those things that you notice first, then by the end, you'll probably have a pretty decent picture. Just take it step by step. And I think that this is actually true of most things, not just drawing, because, you know, trying to do too many things at once will just make you a bit overwhelmed. That's about all it'll accomplish. Gotta do one thing at a time, step by step. Okay, so this part is proving to be a little bit tricky for me. I might need to go in and consult the mesh, but basically what a lot of my previous movements were about was I noticed that this dark area was getting a little bit thinner. And I didn't think that looked good, so I tried to separate out the vertices a little bit more, you know, make this triangle here and around here a little bit larger. But that's not looking quite right either. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. So that might be a mesh consulting thing, but I can fix this highlight. I was trying something with the highlight. It didn't work, so I just need to put it back. That is easy enough. So yeah, I guess I will just see what the triangles themselves have to say. What's bothering you, my little triangular friends? What's the problem here? Okay. I have some thoughts here. These guys got a little bit far apart. Or rather, I feel like their distance got a little bit inconsistent, I guess is the right way to put it. So they were getting a little bit stretched out there. And now that that's fixed, that does seem like it's doing a little bit better. And I will just adjust some of these other triangles around here where I feel like something similar is happening. Yeah, it's doing a little bit better now. Okay, sometimes you really do just have to straighten out the triangles and everything works out. That's why sometimes I find it nice just to ask the mesh itself for its opinion. Because it generally has some good insights where basically what I do is I disarm the parameters, so, you know, the circle here is not red. And then I click on the layer so it shows the mesh, and then I move it and watch how the triangles are being distorted. And then adjust based on that. Pretty easy. And a lot of the time when I'm doing this, I'm not even looking at the art itself. I am literally just looking at that lattice of triangles. Trying to figure out why they are looking a little bit off. So that is all that's really going on when I talk about consulting the mesh. I'm literally just staring at all the triangles. That's it. No more complicated than that. No more complicated than that. The other day, my son did something especially cute. So we were at the park, and his older sister fell off her scooter and scraped her knee a little bit. Nothing serious. I mean, typical childhood scrapes, but her being 5, she panicked a little bit. And so rather than ride in the stroller himself, he let her ride, and he walked all the way back home, and he rolled her scooter along with him all the way back home too, even up the big hill between our house and the park. Just so that she wouldn't have to, and it was so adorable. He is such a good little brother, and she's a pretty good big sister too. I love them. But yeah, he recognized that her knee was hurting and that I probably would have had a pretty hard time pushing both the stroller and the scooter home, so he just went ahead and pushed her scooter all the way home. So he got a few thank yous and some extra ice cream after that. I like to encourage these things when I can. I do hope that even as they get older, that they can continue watching out for each other like that. They really do have such a sweet little sibling dynamic. I mean, I wouldn't say that there's any, like, sibling rivalry or anything. They don't really seem to be competing for parental attention or anything. But, they still annoy each other sometimes when they want to play with the same toys or sit in the same chair. You know, typical toddler things. But overall, they do seem to love each other very much. And I think it is so cute. I love watching them interact. And it's just gotten even cuter as they've gotten bigger, because now the younger one is actually kind of capable of playing pretend, and they can have their own little shared universe in which they can kind of agree on what's happening. Even though, you know, it's all fictional. They're just playing pretend. But there's like a coherent storyline, shared storyline between them. It's not just them playing the same vicinity, it is they're playing the same game. They see the same things. And they can build on each other. You know, like proper improv. It's great, I love it. I love listening to them. I can't always follow the story. Not always, but they clearly can. And I love it. I'm glad that they both seem to be pretty creative even at this age. And I hope that they can keep that ability forever. That society doesn't beat it out of them. By the way, if there's something that you want to be, even if you think it's impossible, you know, go for it. If you want to learn how to draw, go draw. You don't have to be like top tier artist and best professional ever in order to have a good time drawing. You can just do the thing, and you know, who knows, if you do actually get good, then maybe you can be best professional ever. But I don't think that's necessarily important. I think that's how some amount of creativity gets beaten out of us. It's just that we assume that every hobby we have and every endeavor that we have must make money somehow. Society convinces us of this, and it is not true. You do not have to make money on things that you simply find enjoyable. Just find them enjoyable. It's fine. Look at me. I come here every day. Stream stuff, talk about games and art and other stuff I think is cool, and I make $0 and this is fine. Like, man, even just streaming itself is so mired, and people try to make money off of everything, and I think it's sad. Nothing wrong with just coming on, having a good time, and sharing ideas. I think it's pretty fantastic. Okay. I think that is doing a lot better now. This is maybe not 100% there, but I think it's fine. This is for a wiggle, so I don't need to do like a perfect one-to-one for it to be okay. This isn't like a proper body turn or anything. This is just for some wiggling, so the threshold to have everything looking right is a little bit less precise. So as long as it looks pretty alright, I'm gonna call it good. Okay, so just kind of evening out the spacing between the triangles here. You can see that some of them kind of got a little bit bunched up, and it was looking kind of bad. But I think this is probably about gonna do it, unless I need to fix a couple more shapes. Okay, do gotta fix a little bit here. And a little bit here. So yeah, a little bit on this bottom segment. Let me see, how's the sleeve itself doing? I remember spending a lot of time fixing that last time. Probably do want to fix some stuff on the bottom there. But let's do this segment first. I had to think about that one for a second, but yeah, it's not looking super great. So I think I can make it look a little bit better. Here's hoping that this bottom keyframe treats me a little bit better. Because man, this upper one is being super needy. Unfortunately, the left and right one kind of were too. So, oh man, but I'm gonna make it all swing around today. So come on, guys. Come on, little vertices, work with me here. You're gonna look great once it's all done, but you gotta be all done. Just gotta get it all going. Trust me, it'll be fantastic. Don't need to be worried. This is fine, I think. Alright, let me just adjust highlight up here. Just kind of working segment by segment here, and did not quite like the location of that highlight. He needed to slide down just a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, it seems like a lot of things just got slid down kind of unevenly. The hazards of using the brush. Even if it's better than the alternative, there are hazards, and I walk into those hazards a lot. I probably come up with lots of bumps and bruises. don't mind the highlights in the coat being a little bit off. Again, it kind of makes sense to an extent that they wouldn't be in the exact same place, since this is clothing. And wrinkles move around, that's just normal. But still, I want to get them to match up a little bit. As much as I generally can. Okay, I think that's pretty okay. Let's go ahead and adjust the shadow just a tiny bit. I felt like it was being tucked in just a little bit too much there. Yeah, that should be fine. And now down here, where I was not quite happy with the way things were looking over here. This side I think is okay. This side looks a little bit stretchy. I think it looks a little bit silly. So let me go check on the vertices. Okay. Indeed. It is just some vertices getting a little bit too stretched out. But honestly, as problems go, that one is relatively easy to fix. I just, you know, slide them back up, push them a little closer together. No big deal. No big deal. Ah, Jesus, that scared me. Yeah, it sounds like my daughter's computer just rebooted. Give me just a moment to fix that. Well, good news. Whoever that character in the cartoon that popped up when the TV was possessed does not have cancer. I'm so happy for them. Cancer is terrible. Doesn't matter how many times it happens. Every time that the computer there restarts and whatever my daughter was watching just comes up, often very loudly because the sound settings restart too. It startles me. It startles me very much. I'm not actually sure how well you guys could hear that. But every time it's just like, oh god, the TV is possessed. Help. Okay, and on the art front, I think things are getting pretty close. There's a particular shape to this shadow where it kind of comes down and then there's a sharp turn and it comes up. So, I mean, it's like 4 points here. And right now I feel like mine, it doesn't quite have that. And I don't think it needs to be 100% the same shape, but I want it to be a little bit more recognizable than it currently is. More of a similar shape. I don't mind it getting a little bit stretched out. That is totally fine. But keeping some of these similar shapes, I think, is actually kind of important. It's what makes it look like the same object, as opposed to just a new shape taking place in where the old one used to be. So it's the kind of thing that helps give the impression that it's turning, instead of everything just sliding around willy-nilly as it pleases. Okay, but I think somewhere around here is probably going to be fine. Before, it just looked really stretched out and off, and actually, the edge of the cuff there, the seam, not quite there. It's too thick at the top. Too thick in a lot of places, actually. Okay, I think this is probably close enough. I will call that good. Let's go do the downward turn. So once again, I'm gonna focus on getting the belts and all these metal parts looking good before I go and worry about the sleeve itself. So that was a lot of corrections. So let's see, how do I want to approach this? I think the first thing I'm going to do is hide the flap here. I'm going to focus on the shape of this belt and the belt loop. So how do I want to do this exactly? First question I must ask myself every time. Just, how should all this actually look? What's going on? How do I make this look good? Okay, little triangles, what do you want for yourselves? Share all your little desires with me, and I will try to make them come true. I will do my best. Always do. And then for the belt loop there, on the upward turn, I was making the top of it a little bit more prominent and visible, and on this one, I want to make it look like it's kind of sliding upward. So we see a little bit less at the top. So the button will probably look a little bit smaller. In fact, I kind of want to hide the belt loop for a second while I figure out how this over here should look. Okay, yeah, I think this should be good. I was looking at the end, so here and here. And I think both of those locations are pretty good. I just need to smooth out the center a little bit. Yeah, that should be pretty good. The next thing I want to get are these back pieces, because they should be a lot smaller and closer to the belt itself. Like here, I still think we see a little bit of the back, but this should give it a nice little twist. See, it's got a nice little twist now. There we go. So I'll just finish connecting them, because you can see a little corners hanging off the edge there. Definitely not something I want there, but it was fine for when I was still just testing things out and making sure that I had everything in the right place. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and get the loop going here. So how should this be? How should this be? Okay, I think I know. As always, just kind of got to think about it for a second before I dive in. And I think the first thing I want to do is I want to push it up. And I want this part to be pushed up more than the edges. So it kind of has that little bump in the middle. Maybe not quite that strong, but something like that. There we go. Just a tiny little bump in the middle. And then there's a back piece somewhere. I always have trouble finding it. I'll just push him on up here. Do we see more or less of this? I have to think about that for a second. I think just here is fine. I think that, yeah, I think that should be fine. And now I'll push everything else up a little bit further. Make it look like the bottom is a little bit more visible. And now let's make this top part a little bit less visible. I'm gonna flatten out the button just a touch. Once again, I want it to look like it's a little bit smaller. Kind of getting tucked into the shadows of the belt loop. I think something like that should be okay. It's not an extreme turn, so I don't want it to move too much. Just a little bit to look interesting. I think that's pretty good. Okay, and now I can focus on getting all the shapes on the top part a little bit better. They all kind of have to come up a little bit. The button's gonna have to come up a little bit too, but, you know, that's fine. I will move it once I am a little bit more comfortable with where everything else is. So we're just going to ignore it for just a second here while I figure out where everything else goes. Okay, I think that's pretty good for the top. So let's put the button in a good spot. Button, it goes like right about there. And then the bottom still needs to come up a little bit more. But this time I want it to come up a little bit more equally. Because I think the shape is okay. It just needs to be in a better spot. That's all. There we go. Okay, and I actually do think this corner has to come up more. And specifically, just that corner. Sometimes I get ideas on what to do and they are not always correct, but I think this should work out okay. Just kinda gotta find the right balance of things. I'm actually gonna put this piece a little bit closer to where I think it should be, and then I want to join it together here. So we're just gonna group some of these parts together, just like that. I'm just trying to find the right spot for this back piece now. It's surprisingly challenging, because it does not want to be anywhere. Okay. This spot seems fine. So now I just have all these kind of interior pieces on the belt loop that just need to move around a bit. Just like all of this needs to come up. And I'll straighten it out after. They were all just too low. I'll just go in, make the movements I want, and then I'll come and clean them a little. Tried to get the vertices somewhat evenly spaced, so hopefully they don't panic. Because when you don't get them at least somewhat evenly spaced, they do tend to panic a little bit. It's kind of funny. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I think that's doing what I want it to do. Gonna adjust the shadow on the button just a touch. All of those spots are kind of connected there, so yeah, there we go. Okay, I like this. Let's go turn the flap back on, and now I can properly connect the flap to the rest of the belt. I actually don't mind a little bit of the belt showing at the bottom here, since now we're supposed to be kind of looking at it from below. Or at least a little bit more than we were before, so I will just go ahead and attach this now that I know where everything else is supposed to be. And it should be nice and straightforward. So unlike the top turn there, this time I want to mostly cover the top parts. Whereas on that top keyframe there, I wanted to mostly cover the bottom. But now we see things a little bit more from the bottom, so I let it show a little bit more. And I am pretty sure I have that tilted a little bit funny. Yeah, the floppy part beyond the button. Little bit too floppy. Needs to come up just a bit here. I at least want it to kind of have the same direction to it. So this way it looks like it's pointing. If you think of this as an arrow, it is pointing in the same-ish direction. I say ish because, I mean, it's going to change a little bit, and that's fine. That actually is okay. But same-ish general direction. With the same-ish general shape. That is the goal here. Okay, and now I'm just adjusting the shadow there. I don't think it should move that much relative to what I had before, so... Oh, I made the button too small. I thought it was too big before, so I wanted to make it a bit smaller, and I made it way too much smaller. So let's expand it back out here. Try that again. The beauty of digital. I realize, oh no, that is wrong. And I can just go and fix it, and there's no problems. No problems at all. Okay, I think that's good. So now, to the metal bits. Let's see, what do I want to do with these guys? Let me think about it real quick. I'm gonna go stretch a bit and think about that. So, let's see here. What are you guys supposed to do anyway? What are you guys supposed to do? Okay, I think I know. So sure, we'll start from the bottom. I think I just want to, like, push all of this down. It's making it look like the bottom part was stretching out too much and the top part was compressing too much, so we'll just push it all back down. Okay, yeah, pretty good. So now it looks like it's a little bit more proportionate. These parts, as always, I try to keep looking a little bit more similar because they are metal, and they are not supposed to be squishy and bendy and stretchy, like so many other things. And actually, I do think I will hide kind of that connecting piece, and I will turn those back on at the end. I will just do all of these pieces and... yes. Focus hard. I do feel like my results are better when I do something like that. And it also lets me make sure that the middle, where the connecting piece is kind of covering, is a little bit more accurate. And when that part is a little bit more accurate, I can put that little connecting piece into a slightly more accurate spot. And everything just ends up looking slightly more accurate. That's just how it works. I said this while working on the metal bits last time, but I am trying to keep them relatively proportionate to what they were before. Like, they have to move somewhat. And I think it's okay for them to be a little bit more gooey looking than they would be if I was doing something more realistic. Or if I was doing something in a more prominent and important location. So I think it's okay to leave them a little bit gooey looking. That is fine. Everything is relative, so... just trying to get it to the point where it looks good and it gives me the right feeling as opposed to being like strictly perfectly accurate. I feel like that's what art is all about in the end, just getting the right feeling. Alright, it's time for my foot to start falling asleep, so let's fix that. Always happens at around this time. Okay. Yeah, I think we're getting somewhere. I I want this part to be a little bit straighter, but otherwise I think it's fine. I don't mind the way the shadows and stuff are moving around there. I do want to fix the stem back here a little bit more. But otherwise, I think it is okay. I just want to give the impression that it's rigid. And as long as that impression is there, then it doesn't matter if it's a little bit off. So there's a couple of little shadows through here, like in particular these two, that I'm trying to get into the right spot here. And I think once I have those two kind of aligned correctly, the rest will kind of come into place. Okay, yeah, that seems okay. I mean, obviously it's not, like, exactly correct, for lack of a better term, but I think it is okay. I think that this is fine, just the way it is. Now I just need to get this screw. Screw in the end here I felt like was expanding a little bit too much. I don't mind the angle changing a little bit, like where it gets a little bit thinner, almost. I think that's okay, but it needs to do it in the right spot. And in the right way. And in the right amount. All those things, it's important. I just need to make sure that the feeling I want is there. So I do not think people will actually notice that things are bending. I guess is the right way to put it. That the metal is bending. Okay, I think that's fine. I'll go ahead and get this one now. And this one I don't think has to change that much. I mostly just want to change where the center of it is. So all that means is I do this. And then I think it's fine. Okay, I do want to raise the bottom just a little bit, but otherwise, yeah. That was basically it. There we go. Easy peasy. I think that's about all I need. And this should look fine once the connecting bits are on, so let's go to the next one. I'm just gonna go ahead and do all of them real quick, while I'm used to working on this one spot, and oh my. Look at this guy stretch. It looks a little bit silly. But that actually looks like a pretty easy fix to me, because it's just the middle moved more than the top and bottom. And that's what's making it look silly. And that is actually pretty close to the way I want it to be, I think. I do need to fix the stem a little bit, but right now I'm gonna take a look at the screws and see where those need to be fixed. Okay. It actually is pretty dang close. I am pleased. It's going easy on me. It says, yes, today I too want to be part of a pendulum. I too want to bounce around and have fun today. I'm glad. I want to watch you guys bounce around and have fun. I think it'll be pretty fantastic, and it will add just a whole new level of liveliness to the sleeve. Most importantly, once I finish all the sleeve physics, I can finally start putting things back into my parameter group. Just because I wanted all the sleeve nodes to be together. Personally, I look forward to the day that we'll be able to reorder that list. I think that'll be a great day. Never know how much you miss these basic features until you don't have them anymore. Okay, and I think that this is about right. I see one more little shape I want to adjust just right there. In the original it wasn't straight, and in this one it was, and so it gave a different impression. So I want to put that little bump back in. Okay, and I think that's good. Now we'll do this side, and once again, looking at it, I think the only real problem is the middle. It needs to come down a little. Just kind of like that. But otherwise, it was pretty okay. Yep, and now it's tilting the right direction. And all is well. Nice and easy. Okay, next one. 2 more. We're halfway through, guys. Just 2 more little metal bits. And I always feel like this part is the hardest part, so... I guess adjusting the code is pretty hard, isn't it? Everything is hard. Art is hard. That's why I need to stretch. I say art is hard, but I still find it very satisfying. I think the people that find it satisfying strictly because it's hard are maybe a little bit more masochistic than I am, but I do like being able to just sit back and bask in the result. Being able to just take that image that I have in my head and make it real is pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, I think that this is all coming together pretty well here. I'm just making the same kind of adjustments over and over again, because all the pieces, while different, do look pretty similar and have a lot of the same problems, so I'm just kind of adjusting each little piece. It takes a little while, but it's all pretty necessary. Unfortunately, not all parts of art are super exciting. Sometimes you just gotta go around adjusting small belt buckles in order to make things look right. And there's no way around it. If I did not adjust the buckles, it would just look bad, so here we are. But it's okay. It'll all look pretty good in the end. And I do not want to skimp out on the details here. I want to make sure that everything is in the right spot. 'Cause if I get lazy here, then I actually think it'll affect the quality of my twists here. Because I think that the shape of these metal parts actually define most of the twist. So I'm just going in and looking closely. Over and over again. And I'm sure that a lot of this looks tedious, but it's not actually as bad as I'm making it as it looks, in my opinion. Like, when you're actually doing it. Because I know that when I start doing these things, I can almost just get into a pure Zen state where nothing matters. I see nothing, and I just am totally locked in looking at the shape of the buckles here. All that exists is belts. And it doesn't feel too bad. It unironically does not. I know this happens a lot when I'm rendering art too, where, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm going slightly insane, but other times it's just like, I'm not even there. I'm just here, one with the universe, and suddenly 4 hours have passed and I realize I'm supposed to do something, and I'm like, oh no. That happens just as often. Being one with the universe is pretty cool. Good feeling. It's like it keeps trying to happen here, but then I remember I need to talk. And remembering that I need to talk kind of takes me out of it a little bit. But overall, it still doesn't feel bad. It really doesn't. That's why I say, if just the thought of being able to make your pictures move sounds pretty cool, then I think people should try rigging. It's a good time. I don't always do, like, full VTuber style models like this. Sometimes I just do simple illustrations, you know, like my stream starting and ending screen. I do lots of stuff like that. And that's pretty fun too. Much simpler. Although unfortunately means that you have to work with Inochi's animation timeline, which right now isn't great. That's probably the worst part. But everything else is pretty okay. I like making them. There's been occasional times that I've thought about making new starter end screens, and just because I think it's fun to do. But I kind of like the ones that I have, so I haven't done it. Just because it would mean no longer using the ones that I have, and I think that's a little bit sad. Always the trouble with making new things. Okay, I think that's good now, so let's go do the other side. This one was a little bit finicky, but I think I got him. And once again, I just adjust the angle a little bit there. And yeah, I think that's fine. Alright, now these guys. This one is more hidden by the lapel than the others, but I still don't want it to look like this. I mean, this looks pretty ridiculous. But it's the last one. And then I just gotta go back through them all and put their little connecting piece back. See, I knew I'd get there eventually. It just takes a little while to go through all the little pieces. And oh man, are there a lot of little pieces on this coat. I cut it very well. Okay, this one's not cooperating with me quite as much, but it's okay. I will wrangle it into submission. I always do. Always. It can wiggle as much as it wants, but I always win in the end. Always. Always. Oops. So try as it might, it will go into place. Oh man. Wait, when I do that, I accidentally clicked on the little things that let you move it around on the screen there, and now I have an extra I don't know, binding. Yes, binding here that shouldn't be there. So no, I'm gonna find it because I don't want these to be yellow. It doesn't matter, but it bothers me. Because I'll just look at it and I'm just like, oh shoot, did I forget to rig a part of this? And no, I didn't. I just accidentally clicked on the handles. Because yeah, basically when the keyframe is green, it means that, how to say it, all of the parts that have been used in other keyframes are also rigged there, basically. So, I mean, I obviously don't, for example, have the head rigged on this because the head doesn't move at all here. And these are still green just because there are no spots that have no pieces that haven't been rigged that exist in other keyframes. That's the best way I can put it. That is a bit scrambled, but that's the basic gist. Basically, it tells me, did I miss one somewhere? And in this case, the answer is no, because they are green. And the other ones are yellow, because I haven't copied all the deformations that I'm doing here to the other side yet. So currently, the entire left side of her coat is unrigged on the top and bottom keyframe. And so it's letting me know, hey, maybe I missed something. Although it's very normal for my keyframes to be yellow. It just, in this case, they shouldn't be, because I should be moving every single piece. I'm pretty sure all of my head turns are yellow, for example. So I'm not sure if that made any sense whatsoever, but I tried. Probably made it sound more complicated than it seems, but literally, it's just letting me know, hey, maybe you missed something here. Maybe you didn't, but maybe you did. Yeah, this one doesn't want to move right. This one is giving me some troubles. Okay, Mesh, get in here. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. What is making these triangles so upset today? Okay, thanks. Thank you, Mesh. You are so smart. You know exactly what to do, always. And I appreciate it. Just, man, I was staring at why that screw was just looking so malleable. And it just wasn't working for me. But it's okay, I think I got it. I think I have it. So I'm just gonna go all the way through and get both of these screws looking the way that I want them to. So I said, they can try. They can try to elude me, but I will always win in the end. And all they will succeed in doing is annoying me. But they will be happy, I demand it. No brooding in the corner allowed here. Okay. And now it's looking a bit better. Maybe I should have just consulted the mesh sooner. Yeah, I think that's probably fine. So let's go ahead and work on this bottom part with the screw. I think this is close to the way I want it, but not quite. And with any luck, this guy will be as easy as all the other ones have been, so I can just finish up all the metal bits here. Because I'm still hopeful that I will get to put this onto a pendulum today and just go whoosh and swing her arms around, and I'll be happy. I do like swinging her around and watching the physics. It is so much fun. It makes me very happy. Okay, and indeed, let's go fix all this up here. Gotta pull that down just a touch. And corner up. And this one had a bit of an unusual spot where I thought that this was getting too thin on the backside, so I wanted to try to fix that too. Okay, getting thin right there as well. So this guy was a little bit more picky than some of the other ones, but not much. It wasn't that bad. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and turn all these guys back on. And now I'll start trying to put them into place. Because now that I know where they should be attaching and everything, I can just, hopefully, gently guide them into place. Just want them to be a little bit straighter. Yeah, and you can see that it's still curving. But I think it still looks fairly metallic here. I think it looks pretty good. I think that's fine. Let's do the next one. This one actually doesn't even look that bad right now. I do need to adjust the bottom, but for the most part, I already like this one. This one's pretty good. Good job, little metal piece. You knew where to go, and you just sat there. Fantastic. Making my life easy. I appreciate it, because, man, some of those buckles were not making my life easy. Appreciate you, little connecting bit. Thank you for being you. Okay, I think that's good. Let's do the next one. Okay, so this guy, he got a little bit thin. So, let's help him out. Give him his proper thickness back here. And let him have all the presents he needs. Yeah, these parts are proving to be very cooperative, and I am pleased. I'm so pleased. Sometimes things want to work out, and sometimes they don't, and right now, just everything is cutting me slack. So, hopefully I'll just be able to fly through this, and I can adjust the coat. So I can tell, just looking at the coat as I'm heading down, that there will be some things I need to adjust on the coat. But that's alright. That is honestly to be expected. I decided that I didn't like this piece, now that I had the connecting piece going across it. That happens sometimes, where I think I have it, but then I add some other pieces around it, and I'm like, maybe not quite. And this is one of those cases, but it was all just minor adjustments. All is well. Okay, I think that's good. So, last one. Last one. That wasn't so bad. Yeah, doing it this way where I just know roughly where this connecting part is supposed to be going before I try to rig it, it's easier. And this time I didn't try to copy and paste anything because I tried it when I was rigging the top keyframe there, and it didn't work, and I ended up giving myself a bunch of extra work trying to fix it. So I just didn't do it this time, and I think it worked out. Okay, I think that is fine. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and look at the coat on each little segment here and see what needs fixing. Gonna start with the inner side. And then I'll worry about the outer side. Or maybe I'll do both at the same time again. Who knows? I change my mind sometimes. And I figure at the very least I will do this side first. This side is the more detailed side, so it is the side where I tend to see the most issues. And I'm trying to be particular about it, because I know once I add it to a pendulum, it'll be a little bit harder to edit. Basically, once you add it to a pendulum, you can no longer just swing it around without arming the parameter. So I do like to try to get it right before I do that. But I'm determined. I want to get it on that pendulum today. Like, maybe it would be slightly more optimal if I waited until next time to get it on the pendulum, but you know, sometimes it's okay to be a little bit suboptimal if it's fun. I actually think making life all about efficiency is dangerous. It's the kind of mentality that tells people that it's not worth doing art if they can't make money off of it. Because it's more efficient. It's like, no. It only depends on what you're optimizing for. If you're optimizing for money, maybe. But if you're optimizing for enjoyment, probably not. Honestly, I did think about trying to get an art job for a while. But, I don't know, the more I looked into it, the more just kind of terrible it seemed, so I'm not sure if I want to. Like, I'm not even sure I want to take commissions. I don't know, man. It makes me nervous. It's okay to have unmonetized hobbies. And let's see, here, once again, I'm okay if it's not, like, one-to-one perfect, as long as it keeps the same general shape. Like, a couple of those are a little bit stretched out, but I don't think it's enough that it'll look weird once everything's moving. It'll be fine. The joy of physics, where everything is a little bit less precise. I do love me some physics. They feel so good to work on after spending so long on the turns themselves, where everything has to be super accurate. And here I just get to go, wee. Just get to sit back and have a little bit of fun. Everything there needed to slide up enough that I just decided it'd be easier to use the brush, even though I was going to destroy the world in the process. But it's okay, I can fix it. It's only like a bit of temporary destruction. We can rebuild, it's fine. Okay, that was a bit too much. Let's try that again. And now just trying to get the spacing between them a little bit more even. So this way, hopefully they won't look all stretched out and uncomfortable. Okay, this should be fine once I kinda smooth things out here. Yeah, just gotta smooth things out a bit and make sure that the bump there is on the right spot relative to the buckle there. Okay. One more segment. And then I'll do the outside, and then I'll do the bottom of the sleeve. And we'll get this little guy in a pendulum. So excited. Always so excited to do that. It makes me happy. And then I get to play. There is one more little thing that I want to do with the sleeve, and honestly, I think I'm making pretty good time. So maybe I'll get to do it today, and maybe saying this will jinx me because I am terrible at gauging time. Like I said, no depth perception, even through the fourth dimension. Alright, let's go do the outer part. I actually don't think this guy looks too bad, so... hopefully it won't take too much out of me, and I'll just be able to get it. And I'll be like, thank you, Coat. Thank you for being cooperative with me today. I appreciate it. I do like it when they decide to work with me, instead of being stubborn. Making me go in and consult the mesh. Very rude, don't you know? Just noticed a few things on the inner part that I wasn't quite happy with, so wanted to fix them real quick, but now I think they're doing fine, so on to the next segment. I like being able to have easy, divisible segments like this. It makes it a little bit easier to go through things. So once again here, I don't mind so much if it doesn't match up 100%, as long as it keeps the general impression. And right now I think it's doing just that, so I think I'm gonna move on to the next one. Alright, next segment. You can see here that there's this little bump out the sleeve, and it's here too. But when I come down here, the bump doesn't move. And it looks a bit weird like that. So I need to make sure that that bump is moving upward with everything else. Otherwise, it'll look a bit odd. So that's kind of what I mean by keep the same general impression. Just, we know there's a bump there. And we know that the sleeve is moving up, so the bump should move up too. Otherwise it'll look stuck. Like it's getting caught on something. And that is not the kind of impression that I want to give. I want to make it look like the parts that it's caught on are these buckles, and nothing more. If anything else looks like it's arbitrarily stopping it, then that's a problem. That is a problem that I must fix. But I also don't mind if it gets a little bit stretched out. So right now it's a little bit stretchy there, and I think that's fine. Okay, and now this part. I guess I should actually check it, huh? Yeah, it's fine. And here, similar idea. There's a thicker line right here that just needs to move up with everything, and a small dent right here that just needs to move up with everything. And somehow this part just got too thick. I don't know how, but these things happen. Okay, seems good. Let's go ahead and do this part. So right now I'm just focused on the outer edge. I will do the inner shadows and stuff once I have the outer edge to my liking. I just find working in pieces like this a little bit easier than trying to do the whole thing at once. So I just thought that it looked like it was all sliding down and getting a bit weird like that, so I'm just pushing everything back up and I don't like how it's stretching right through there, so I will adjust here a little bit more. I just arm the parameter, make the changes that I want, and then I go check them. That's basically the whole process. Make a guess on what has to be done next. Do it. And then see if you're right. Look for problems. Think about how to fix those problems. Check to see if you're right. Over and over again until everything is to your liking. Drawing is kind of like that, but I do actually feel like it's different. I don't necessarily feel like I'm just constantly trying to solve problems when I'm drawing, if that makes sense. Whereas here, it's basically just, okay, I want it to turn like this. Why doesn't it look like it's turning like this? And just keep going and till it looks right, more or less. I think that's part of why it feels like I could go on rigging forever, whereas when I'm drawing, eventually I reach a point where I'm just like, you know, this is perfect. I am done. And that point doesn't come quite as strongly. It sometimes never does when I'm rigging something. I think outer part is fine. So let's go ahead and look at all these inner shadows here. So I can already tell that this guy needs a little bit of adjustment because he's supposed to be sitting with the belt loop, and here he is not. So let's get in there and get him back onto the belt loop where he belongs. And then I just want to straighten out this little highlight here. Okay, and once again, like I was doing on the top keyframe there, I just need to kind of imitate the shape a little bit better. It'll probably take me a couple of tries to get that, because it always does, but that's okay. I can take as many tries as I needed to, as long as I don't give up. All there is to it. Why does it keep scrolling? Scroll wheel, why are you like this? my scroll wheel's been having some trouble. I like to take my time on these little inner shadows because I do feel like getting them right adds a lot. So, I will just take my time and get everything just the way that I want it to be. Kind of aligning the bump with of this highlight with the belt loop here. And now I'm gonna go line it up with the center a little bit more. Kind of perfect the shape here. Because it's a little bit thicker at the bottom than it is on the top. It gets thinner as it goes up. And then I think I also want to push it upward a little bit at the bottom. Looks like it's stretching it, getting stretched out a little bit more than I'd like. Okay, almost there. I'm getting there. Once again, my ability to see through the fourth dimension, not great. I always underestimate how long these little details can take me. But I'm still determined to get it onto a pendulum today. I will go long if I have to. I'm doing it, man. I want to watch it swing. I really do. I really, really do. It's gonna be a good time. And nothing will get in my way. And unlike when I'm playing Subnautica, I don't think that watching me rig will give a tiny one nightmares, so even if one of my kids wake up, I won't feel the need to stop immediately. I could just let them sit on my lap for a bit and tell them to go back to bed. Okay, I want to adjust this back shadow just a bit, but I think this is fine now. I think about the only thing that'll come between me and pendulum today is if I get super duper hungry, but I think I can manage. I think all will be well. Okay, looking good. I actually don't really mind the way this shadow's moving. I think this is fine. So what about up through here? So I kind of moved this one up when I was messing with the edges. Okay, so this guy needs to move up. And then there's a little highlight right here that I think needs to move up a little bit too. Okay. And that might be too high. A little bit. The top I don't think should be quite that high up. If anything, it should show a little bit less than it does on the default turn, since we're seeing this a little bit more from the bottom. So I think something like this actually makes a little bit more sense. And I think this is one of my examples of a good mesh, where I'm actually pretty happy with how I meshed this. Everything is just... I'm able to move things the way that I want them to move, and it's very nice. I feel like it's easy to move all of the shadows and highlights here. And there aren't too many dots. Maybe a little bit too many. But, nah, I think it's pretty good. I like to take notes on this, so this way I can do the same thing in the future. That's the thing about self-critique. Everybody focuses on, man, I did all these things wrong. But then you don't ask yourself what you did right, and it's a little unfortunate. But it's important to know what you did right. This way you can do it again. Both sides are important. Knowing what you did wrong so you can avoid doing that again, and knowing what you did right so you can keep doing it forever and ever. Understanding comes in many forms. Okay, I think parts of this highlighter going up a little bit too much. And for some reason, my fingers just keep wanting to click the outer layer instead of the inner layer. They're very silly. Okay, I think that's good. Well, right here. Is right here okay? I noticed a little wiggle. You know what? It's fine. So, now we just have this top segment, because I think here is okay. So just the highlight up here, which is getting a little squeezed. But I think I know just what to do with it, and then all should be well. All I gotta do is push these guys a little bit closer to the edge here. About where does it intersect here? Yeah, so right about there should be right. In theory. Yep, looks fine to me. Let's take a look. I think that looks pretty good. Just a small little twist going up and down here. Alright, now I just want to get this kind of inner part. Oh yeah, and I should straighten out the back there. I think the back is in the right place. It just has a couple of spots that got a little bit distorted while I was moving it around, so I just need to smooth them out. And then I want to adjust the inside here. Just a touch. Let me see, how should you change? I think you actually go down. No, you go up. Okay, I was gonna say it's the opposite of whatever I had up there, so... Okay, that seems fine. I'll keep it simple. Oh shoot, I'm on the wrong spot here. That's bad. Okay. Hopefully that was the only thing I adjusted on that keyframe, because otherwise I'm going to be in trouble, but... I'll hope for the best. I'm not trying to check. So, I'm not going to worry about it. No, you can... Yeah, this way. I had to think about it for a second. Okay, yeah, that should be fine. How are those shadows? Shadows are fine. Okay, let's copy everything over. So we just go here, set from mirror horizontally, and I do that for everything, and it'll take me a hot second, but it'll get done. I just take the gray ones, set for mirror horizontally, over, and over, and over. It's okay, this is way easier than trying to rig both sides. This way, I only have to rig one and then hit some buttons. There's just a lot of layers in our code. A lot. Honestly, I probably should check the corners first, but... You know... I'm pretty sure I checked them last time and I didn't actually need to change anything. But I will go ahead and... check them before I do the bottom. Okay. There we go. That's everything copied over. Let's check some corners. I think they look fine. Hello there, Inochi2D. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good, so let's copy the bottom. Just hit all the buttons. Hit all the buttons over and over again. The shaking alarm? I'm not actually sure what that is. Are you okay? Well, I stand by the initial question. Are you okay? Alright. I see. Well... Good luck. That's good. I'm glad you're okay. Health problems are no fun at all. Okay. There we go. That should be everything. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, looks good. Let's go. Turn her coat collar back on. And hook this guy to a pendulum finally. Yeah. Health problems are no fun at all. Alright, before I do, I just want to do a before and after comparison. So... Not body physics, body, here we are. So this is what it looks like without the twist. Sleeves look okay without it, but I think they will look a lot better with it, so I'm very excited. Alright. let's get that attached. Add this to the huge amount of physics I have in the code here. What did I call you? Sleeve twist. It'll be a spring pendulum of XY. I'll just leave defaults in for now. If I need to fix it, I will fix it. And let's make it move. I'll just go with 100 for now. And if I need to change it, I will. Easy enough to tweak the values as I see fit. Does which one look like me in real life? Shalom? Shalom is a video game character. And then, you know, my usual model, the one with the bright blue hair, definitely does not look like me in real life. I do not think that anybody looks like this in real life. I mean, the head moves based on how I move. But, okay, right now it is not twisting the way I want. Let me see, how are you moving? I'm gonna make you a little bigger. We're gonna make you swing around. And let's adjust the output scale here. I want it to be like 3 times as big here. 3 might actually be big. I see. Well, I'll be sure to keep a lookout. It's still not really moving. Okay, let's make this value larger then. We will move you over 150. You will wiggle. I demand it. Flankera demands wiggles. Alright. That's good. I'm sure my kids will appreciate that too. Fortunately, it's kind of hard for me to see what it's doing. I guess I can actually put this into my body physics group and see if I can see it a little bit better here. Okay, yeah. 3, bit too high on the output scale. Boo to you too. Okay, there we go. Now it's starting to look a little bit better. And I think I can put some of the output scaling down a little bit. In fact, I think I might be telling it to move around a bit too much now. Okay, as usual, it takes a little bit of trial and error to get my numbers right. Let's bring it back to about 120. Why? All right. Once I add the last either layer or 2, I'm not sure what, to the sleeves, I think this will look pretty excellent. I'm pretty excited to see the end. So next time, more sleeves, I think. I see. I mean, it is true. Being a teenager is hard. I do not doubt that, but, oh, I don't know. I mean, whatever makes you happy, I suppose. It's not twisting quite as much as I was hoping. Alas, poor teddy bear. Okay, if it's not twisting quite as much as I was hoping, that probably means a value here. Maybe resonant frequency. Maybe. Let's lower some of these numbers, make it really wiggly. Let it just flop around everywhere. I think I actually want to lower resonant frequency, maybe 0.5. I'm just gonna arbitrarily try some numbers here. I have many stuffed animals. I still have pretty much every stuffed animal that I had when I was a tiny human. And now my kids play with them. It's pretty great. They get to play with all the toys that I enjoyed a lot when I was small. And I like seeing them play with them. It's like they were getting a second life. Okay, yeah, I think that looks a lot better. Definitely got a little bit more wiggle to it. I think I might even lower this guy a little bit more. Let's see. Why is it getting stuck at the bottom? Okay, no. I need this value to be higher. 0.5 was working pretty well. There we go. I mean, presumably you are sad for some reason, and trying to pinpoint those emotions. It's a good idea. Self-awareness is generally a good thing, I'd say, overall. If you can figure these things out, then I think that that skill will take you a long way, and this is the kind of thing that's good to practice if you can. But alright, I got my sleeves on the pendulum, so I am pretty happy for today. So, the last things that I want to add is just a little bit of extra floppiness to the parts kind of in between here, and especially the bottom. I'm not sure if this one will need two. I think one should be enough, but we shall see. And then I can go back to doing the arms. Yeah. It's okay. It's just something to think about. Just... because, I mean, people don't generally cry for no reason. So, if you can figure it out, that's generally a good idea. Alright, but I think that I will stop here for today. Because I am happy with my wiggling. I will export the model once I have all of the sleeve physics done. And then I'll go back to working on her arms, and that'll be very exciting. I actually have one of her arms hidden right now. Let's go ahead and turn it back on. Oh yeah, because it was covering part of her coat, of course. And so we'll make those arms wiggle a little bit more nicely. I already have some ideas for how to do that. So, looking forward to doing that. I think it's funny that when it came to doing turns, I finished her head took most of the work there, and now that it's physics time, it's basically all body. It's not that surprising. She has way more body than head, but the head turns have to be very accurate, otherwise they look strange. So, alright, I do think that I will stop here for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.